Off-grid solar costs $60,000 minimum. Here's where every dollar goes. If you're dreaming of energy independence, subscribe right now. I break down the real costs companies don't tell you. This could save you from a $50,000 mistake. Everyone romanticizes off-grid living. No electric bill. Total independence. Stick it to the utility company. But nobody talks about the actual cost. I researched equipment pricing. I analyzed installer quotes. I interviewed people who went off-grid. The real number shocked me. Let me show you exactly where $60,000 goes for a basic off-grid system for an average American home. First, solar panels. For off-grid, you need to generate all your electricity. No grid backup. That means a bigger system than grid-tied solar. Average American home uses 30 kilowatt hours per day. To generate that year-round, accounting for winter and cloudy days, you need about a 12 to 15 kilowatt solar array. Cost for 15 kilowatts of panels, $10,000 to $15,000. That's panels only, not installation yet. Why so big? Grid-tied solar can undersize because the grid covers shortfalls. Off-grid can't. You need excess capacity for bad weather and winter when sun is weak. Second, battery bank. This is the biggest cost. For off-grid, you need enough battery capacity to power your home through multiple cloudy days. Rule of thumb, 3 days of backup minimum. Some people go 5 to 7 days for extra security. Let's calculate 3 days. 30 kilowatt hours per day times 3 days equals 90 kilowatt hours of battery storage. At current lithium battery prices, that's about $25,000 to $35,000 just for batteries. Yes, $25,000 to $35,000 for batteries alone. This is why off-grid is so expensive. Grid-tied battery systems only need 13 to 20 kilowatt hours because the grid backs you up. Off-grid needs 70 to 100 kilowatt hours. That's 5 to 7 times more battery capacity. Third, inverter and charge controller. Off-grid needs different equipment than grid-tied. You need an off-grid inverter that can handle your peak load. For most homes, that's 8 to 12 kilowatts. Cost, $3,000 to $6,000 for a quality unit like Solarc or Victron. You also need MPPT charge controllers to manage solar charging. Cost, $1,000 to $2,000. Grid-tied systems have simpler inverters because they sync with grid power. Off-grid inverters must create stable power without grid reference. More complex, more expensive. Fourth, racking and mounting. Same as grid-tied. About $2,000 to $3,000 for professional mounting hardware. Fifth, installation labor. Off-grid installation is more complex than grid-tied. Expect higher labor costs, $5,000 to $10,000 depending on your location and system complexity. Why more expensive? Electricians need to wire battery banks safely, configure charge controllers, set up proper grounding, install emergency shutoffs. It's more work than grid-tied. Sixth, electrical equipment. You need a main service panel, subpanels, breakers, disconnects, wiring, conduit, grounding equipment. Budget $3,000 to $5,000. Seventh, backup generator. Here's what most people don't realize. Off-grid solar alone is not reliable enough. You need a propane or diesel backup generator for extended cloudy weather or winter when solar production is low. Most off-grid homes run their generator 10 to 30 days per year. Cost for a whole home generator, $4,000 to $8,000 installed. Plus, you need an automatic transfer switch to integrate it with your solar system. Another $1,000 to $2,000. Without a generator, you risk running out of power during a week of cloudy weather. Most off-grid homeowners consider a backup generator mandatory. Let's add it up. Panels, $15,000. Batteries, $30,000. Inverter and controllers, $5,000. Racking, $3,000. Installation, $8,000. Electrical, $4,000. Generator, $6,000. Total, $71,000. And that's for a basic system. If you want more battery backup, longer generator runtime, or a bigger solar array, add another $10,000 to $20,000. We've covered 7 cost categories totaling $70,000. But there's more. Maintenance, replacements, operational costs. Hit subscribe because this gets expensive. Now let's talk ongoing costs. Off-grid isn't install and forget. Battery replacement. Lithium batteries last 10 to 15 years. After that, you're replacing them. That's another $25,000 to $35,000 at year 12. If you amortize battery replacement cost over the system life, you're paying about $2,000 to $3,000 per year just for future battery replacement. Generator maintenance, oil changes, filter replacements, fuel. Budget $500 to $1,000 per year. System maintenance, cleaning panels, checking connections, monitoring battery health. If you DIY, it's your time. If you hire someone, expect $500 to $1,000 annually. So ongoing costs, $3,000 to $5,000 per year. That's $250 to $400 per month. Compare that to a grid electric bill. Average American electric bill is $150 per month. Off-grid costs more per month than staying on the grid when you include maintenance and future battery replacement. But wait, what about the grid connection fee? If you go off-grid, you avoid the monthly connection fee, right? True, but grid connection fees are usually $10 to $30 per month. That's tiny compared to off-grid costs. Here's the math. Off-grid system costs $70,000 upfront, plus 3,000 per year ongoing. Over 25 years, that's 70,000 plus 75,000 equals 145,000 total. Grid-tied solar costs 25,000 upfront. Grid electricity for what solar doesn't cover costs, maybe $50 per month or 15,000 over 25 years. Total 40,000. Off-grid costs 145,000. Grid-tied costs 40,000. You're paying 105,000 extra to go off-grid. Is it worth it? For most people, no. Financially, it makes no sense. But there are scenarios where off-grid makes sense. If you're building in a remote location where grid connection costs $30,000 or more, off-grid can be competitive. If you live somewhere with frequent multi-day blackouts and you need guaranteed power, off-grid might be worth it for reliability. If you value energy independence so much you're willing to pay the premium, then it's a lifestyle choice, not a financial one. But don't fool yourself into thinking off-grid saves money. It doesn't. It costs way more than grid-tied solar or staying on the grid. One more thing: permitting and inspections. Some jurisdictions make off-grid difficult. They require backup systems, minimum battery capacity, regular inspections. Some areas won't allow fully off-grid homes. They require you to maintain grid connection even if you don't use it. Check your local building codes before planning off-grid. So here's the bottom line. Off-grid solar costs $60,000 to $80,000 for a basic system, plus $3,000 per year ongoing costs. Battery replacement at year 12 is another $30,000. Over 25 years, you'll spend $145,000 total. Grid-tied solar costs $25,000 and still saves you 80% on electric bills. Off-grid costs 6 times more for complete independence. If you're considering off-grid, subscribe, because next video, I'm showing you how to calculate your exact system size in 10 minutes. What's your biggest question about off-grid solar? Drop it below. Subscribe. See you next time.